Hey, top of the morning to you. It's Roo, or as the grandkids call me, Roo. Hey, listen, I'm in the middle of repairing something that just died right before I came on the air. So give me one more minute and I'll have this hooked back up for you. I have a cable that just said, okay, we quit. Sometimes they do that. You know, I told you yesterday it's time to raise a little money and buy a camera and some gear. So here you go. Watch this while I get this fixed. I think you can hear me talking through my computer, but that's not the microphone I want to use. I showed this to my daughter-in-law last night. She hadn't seen this, and she hadn't seen it in person. She and my son were over for a little bite. So, wrong one. Watch this right here. Here it is. Check one. Ha! I fixed it. So there, a little look at the journal while I clean up my desk. No, really, while I get the sound back together. So sorry. You know, isn't that crazy? I just, All right, here we go. Now, top of the morning to you. I think you can hear me now. I'm seeing my microphone take a read and my camera come into focus. So, sorry about that. Just like suddenly it just goes, and you go, that's a cable glitching. And it could be anything. It could be pocket lint. I had to take my iPhone to the Mac store, Apple store, and I didn't, no, I guess to the Verizon store. Anyway, we took it to one of those stores because I didn't want to stick a paper clip down in there and clean the lint out of the little phone. You know, it's like my phone doesn't charge some days and it's cutting out. And so I took it in and I said, look, I don't want to do this to avoid my warranty, but I think it's full of pocket lint. And this lady grabs this nice young lady. She goes, let me have that thing. She goes, oh shit, no, what makes you think that? She dumps out enough, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, I could have filled up 5 buttonholes with all the lint. She goes, I said, well, what gets in yours in your purse? You don't carry it in your pocket. She says, no, I put mine in my pocket. I have to clean out the lint all the time. So this wasn't, and there's my new cable right there. See, I had a new one or a newer one, and I couldn't find it. It's because it was hidden by my coffee cup. Good morning and welcome to the show. Let me hit this button so I can see all these names. Boom, there they are. Okay. So good morning, top of the morning to you. Let me say hello. Gene Anthalzer, thanks for being on the show this morning. Karen Binder, Linda Linhart, Pat Brooks, it's Ruse Day. Tuesday. Man, I tell you what, I'm still in the miry pit of despond. Just my body is so tired from thousands of pounds lifting, and you know, will I ever get too old for that? Yeah, I will. But right now, you know, God's made me strong. He didn't make me smart, but He made me strong. So I'm still working through. Just got a good call from my doctor the other day. I had to go in for one of those echocardiogram heart clinic places. This is where you go. You know, every few years they say, hey, at your age, you should go do this. And so, you know, they go in there and they take pictures. And anyway, they called back and said, dude, that thing's working, you know. So just keep working. He asked me, he said, do you have kind of a physical, are you sedimentary or do you have like a physical lifestyle? And I go, okay, look, I paint and I sit down and paint, which is new because I used to paint standing up. But now I sit down and paint because I do this show. And so he said, well, honestly, what kind of outside physical labor do you do? And I said, well, I'm getting ready to walk about 6 miles a day in Maine. He goes, whoa, okay. And I said, I've got a metal project coming up that will take 5 people to do, and I'm the only guy there. And so then I'm blacksmithing all day, and then and so I went through my just the last 2 weeks, and he goes, get the heck out of my office. So I felt pretty good about that. So anyway, Jessica Miller, thanks for being on the show. Chris Whitaker, Bob Hendrick from the cornfields of Iowa, the Cracker Jack cornfields. Cracker Jack, yeah, it used to come in that little box, and you used to get a prize in the box. Prize, might have to give away a prize today. Jackie Wallace, thanks for being on the show. Steve Catlett, good morning to you, my sir. I think I got a note from you, Steve, that your mugs arrived safely. You don't know how scary it is to put one of these in a little box and send it flying across the country. I know it's priority mail because it goes that way, but man, and you stamp fragile on there, and those guys go, here, put that over there. And go like, wait a minute. It's hard to drink out of them when they're broken. Good morning, Heather Kuhlman, and I noticed my phone is on a funky focus today too. I'm telling you, it's new camera time. It's new studio time. I thought I could make it to Christmas. I don't know if I can. Deborah Sprangler, good morning. Thank you for being on the show. Phil Wilbarger, Trish Brown, Ann Wester, and I owe you an apology. I think you even sent me a note, and I found the book yesterday that's not mailed. So it's coming between my trips, and I've got one more trip out of town. I've got to go to the mountains of western North Carolina and pick up some old pieces of wood from a barn, and I'm making something for an organization with them. And so I've got to go drive over. It's just 3 hours to where I'm going, and then I'll come back and do some work on that. And maybe I can keep you. That might be a nice little field trip because I've got to make a branding iron. Am I whispering? I don't care. They're probably not on the show. All right, so Ann, I got you down. Coffee Cowboy from Mountains of Veracruz, thanks for being on. A fresh roasted morning to you. Of course, I'm having tea. Deborah Lynn Tauber, Skeeter Pal. Hello, man. Hey, listen, our friend has not been in touch with me today, but I'm tracking him down, okay? Sent him a new text yesterday, and he is like nailing jello to a wall. Love that brother, but I'll track him down. Annette, Rhonda D. Hart, thank you. Good morning from Faith. Rhonda, I saw you yesterday saying, and I think Pat and some folks were helping you say, hey, just loosen up if you want to loosen up. And that's like the counselor telling me, don't think about monkeys. And so, but with a paintbrush sometimes, do less. And I'm going to do less today. I'm going to paint a couple things that you'll go, come on. Did he just paint that with 2 colors? Why? When he has this whole palette of colors here, what was he thinking? Okay? I say here, and you can't even see my desk. Here. And the desk is just piled up with stuff today, okay? So, Annette, welcome from Bird Island, and Ricky, glad you're on the show today. Govers, do you put both of this? It's a hyphenated name. It's Bastones Govers, Bastonas Govers. Man, you got a name, Ricky. I like it. I like your handwriting too. Thanks for the note way back when in the paper. Jimmy Jensen, thanks for being on the show. Fern Skelly. Pat says, Bob, you are the prize. Okay. Bob has learned a lot of new words since we started Roodoodles, man. He is saying, I got to come up with a word. I love the fact that you either wake up thinking about a word or go to bed thinking about a word. And, I just want to say something about that. There's a consistency in that as I heat up some tea out of my little thermos here. I'm thinking about putting a teapot in my studio, I think that'd be a good idea. Stop one moment for a cuppa. Oh, man, that is so hot and good. June Jones, thanks for being on the show. Donna Sell Barton. Donna, I know it's just crazy when somebody, is reminded of something, but I do have to show you something. I was reminded of you just yesterday. Was it yesterday or maybe it was early this morning? I was looking through here. This is one of my favorite books. I've had this book for, 30 years. They're by Eric Sloan. If you don't know who Eric Sloan is, these books were done, I don't even know when the books were done. I should know. It's done for Funkin' Wagnalls. So 1964, 1964, Eric Sloan did these books. This is the Diary of an American Boy. The illustrations are by Noah Blake, who was alive around 1805. He drew all this stuff. This was 1962. And so here's a note. Look at this. Don't you love this? He has a pen, a feather quill, and he's got a leather journal. I don't even know this man, Eric, but I love how he did. And he sketched these just pen and ink drawings of the farm. Look at this. Come on. And I got to tell you something here. I think that even in the 70s, when I got these books, and one of them in the 80s, and they've been over on my shelf, I think even then, because I was getting interested in blacksmithing, and I was starting to find old farm tools and buy up anvils and post vise and things like that, and try to find them at garage sales and flea markets. And even then, I was being filtered and salted and assaulted with the concept of taking notes and keeping journals. And it was during the 70s that I started writing what I thought were poems, because my brother was writing poems, and I would write them in a bound sketch pad like you would get at the university art store to draw in. But I didn't think about drawing. I wrote poems in there, and I put words together. And when I see a picture like this right here, which is an old leather bound journal and an ink well, just a jar of ink, and a pen laying by it, and a leather strap to tie it closed, I get excited. And I'm going like, that was probably being instilled in me even while I was thinking about, I'm just going to write, I'm just going to build things and weld things. And then there's this, there's days it's raining and you come inside, look at this, the whole thing. Here's brown ink, boiled down walnut or butternut hulls that have been mashed first, and then add vinegar and salt and then let it set up. He made his brown ink to do the book. Come on. I love this guy. Okay. Anyway, so yes, I'm fast brain. I'm ADD. And so what that means is, here it is, Donna. You thought I wasn't going to get there, but I am. Take a look at this right here. When I see drawings like this, and I see the wooden cogs, and I see the trip hammers, and of course, in 1983, I had the opportunity to build a 10-foot water wheel and run all the gears. So even then, these were becoming real to me. And we made a grist mill and a millstone, and I had a grits bolter, and we made cornbread. There's a video out there most of you have seen. But this is the kind of stuff that I still sketch today and that I build for a while. And look at all this stuff. It just blows my mind. Anyway, every now and then I'll take a cup of tea, and it'll be raining outside, and I'm not painting for the day, and I don't have something to edit, and I'll go wander, and I'll pull one of these books down, and I'll look at it, and I'll go, man, that takes me back to a time, and makes me go down and want to get my broad axe out of the, I got a small little hand axe, a broadhead hand axe downstairs, and I go get that, chop up a little kindling. It's fire time, okay? It's time to build a fire outside. Denise Albright, let me stop right there just for a second, and let me just talk to you guys straight on. Denise, welcome to the show. Some of you may remember about a month and a half ago, a little more than that, I came on and I said, hey, I got a list today from Grit Magazine. Here it is right here. And there it is right there, top of the morning. Let me move that out of the way. Let me move some of this paper out of the way. I just got a bunch of stacked up paper here. There's a lobster. Who cleans your desk for you? Obviously, no one does. All right, all these little pieces of paper, I might just go into a painting frenzy here in a minute and just knock out a bunch of smalls. I think that sounds kind of fun. All right, we'll do that. We'll do that. In fact, I probably need to have an auction coming up soon to buy some new cables, so I'll just do that too. All right, so here's the Grit. Look at this. The Grit magazines came in yesterday. I posted something that says, what to do when hens stop laying. I came on and I said, hey, you guys are really special in how you think. You think like an artist. It's what the painting class is all about. You inspire me. You create. You help me create. You help me create concepts, even as you bounce things back and forth. And so I threw out the idea that here's my list. I can talk about when hens stop laying. I can talk about small crops, barbecue, smoking. I can talk about flatbread recipes. And I thought chickens making flatbread would be kind of funny. And Denise Albright, you said, and I don't have the recording, I could go back and find it. You said to me, wait a minute, I'm trying to find this. You said it could be a blacksmith making flatbread. Just something like that in your comments. And I went, oh my gosh, I like it. So I took all those quotes that you all said, or all those little comments, and everybody sort of crowdsourced the idea of what should I paint. And so I let it run, and then I said, I got a surprise for you. So here it is right here. All right, so if you guys are listening, this is how this works, okay? So Denise says, morning rooster. So I know you're on the show. I see your little icon there with the pups in it. So here we go. So I went down and I took a piece of Kilimanjaro paper and I turned it this way. Oh, there's another that gum lobster. And there's a rabbit that for some reason I can't get the email through. He's sold, but I can't. I think it's Janice. I needed Janice. Send me another email. All right. So this is what I painted right here. Take a look. Okay, take a look. I painted this rooster. All right, stop that music for a second. I painted this rooster. He's in the apron that my grandson wore this week. Got the little pocket up there. I made that apron. Actually has a brand right here. Here's my anvil. Here's my stump. Here's a little, and so he's, and there's no caption on here because I let them put the caption on. I wrote the caption, sent it to them. They fiddle with it around. So this is the original that I scanned. So it's still, I haven't even taken it off the paper yet. So let's just do that. I'll show you. This is still the original. It's on Kilimanjaro, 140 pound, 100% rag cotton. I know I can do this. I have the technology. What is he doing? They say he's doing surgery here. There we go. Got that tool down in there. This is a watercolor block, so it's glued all the way around, so I'm splitting it loose from the rest of the paper. There it is right there. Boop! One sheet pops off, leaves this clean and flat. That's Kilimanjaro, 9x12. So there it is right there. It's signed here, okay? But I want you to look at the signature very closely, okay? Look at this signature right above this paintbrush very closely, okay? All right, hang on. Here we go. I'm going to zoom in on it. All right, this is kind of a surprise, build-up moment. I'm going to come in and I'm going to refocus. Boom. See if I get a focus right there. There it is. You might can read that at that distance. It says roodoodles.com. Then there's a slash, and then there's a little piece that says, and just the initials. Can you see those initials? I initialed it, and I initialed it for you, Denise. It says DA on it because it was your idea that you said, hey, it should be a blacksmith baking flatbread. So I painted it, and I gave you credit for it. And so I'm going to, and look, it's here in the back of the magazine. There it is, okay? And look, when things print in magazines, they don't ever print, especially on this slick kind of paper. And here's what it says. Ask your mom to send out more dough. She said no because blacksmiths don't make flatbread. Tell her a blacksmith's specialty is hammering things flat. So here he is hanging up the flatbread. It's a great recipes, a bunch of recipes in here on flatbread. And it's in the Grit magazine. It just came out yesterday. Denise, let me send you the, Denise, I'm going to send you the original, and I'm going to send you the Grit. There it is right there. Okay, so if you would like to have those for your collection, let me just add to this right now. Denise says, thank you so much, Rue, and is pointing toward the initials right there. So, Denise, will you send me an email at roodoodles@gmail.com? Would you do that? And I'll drop this in an envelope. I might trim the just a little bit here and get it in an envelope, and I'm going to send you this, and I'm going to just put Rue down here, right here. Rue 2021, and in fact, I'll put Michael over here on this side. So you can have this as part of your addition to it. So anyway, but I want you to know it's published and it has your initials on it. There it is right there. And so enjoy it. I hope you want it. If not, give it away to a grandchild, give it away to somebody else, or sell it and give the money to somebody who needs it. So if it's worth anything. So there you go. That's one of my surprises this morning right there. So the Grit Magazine's coming to you. Send me an email at roodoodles@gmail.com, and I'll put this in an envelope and a package and ship it to you. I kept a copy for myself, and it goes over there on that shelf. I always keep a copy of the Grits to go back and look and go from there. Okay. Could you put the video journal on YouTube so we can share it? Yes, I will do that. It may be on there, but I'll also give you another link so I can share it. So Ricky, let me make a note of that for sure. Here, I'll just write it right here. Journal on YouTube. Okay, I'll do that. I'll put it on my personal YouTube page, and you can get a link to it. And I'll just put that on there. So that's the journal video. You bet. Okay, so Denise, I hope you enjoy that. Teresa, thanks for being on the show. Terry Tardy, good morning to you. Michelle Mace, thanks for being on the show. Beverly Schmidt, Christine Kapowski, Karen Pikert, Laura Abbott, Barbara, Manganus. I mess up last name, so just have a little grace. Have a little grace on me. Marion Awad, thanks for being on the show. Melina Phillips, back, I saw your name yesterday from Northeast Arkansas. Good ruining. Karen Lightbody, thank you all. Patricia Crowder, Virginia Mann, Lydia Cook Van Landingham. That is a mouthful right there. If I had to say that, wait for our sponsor of the show. I love it. Hi, roommates. Happy to see you. Thank you. Renee Keys, thank you for being on the show. Dolores Bolin. Got my mug yesterday. Perfect shape. Love to hear that. Put some water in it. If it leaks, drink fast. Jack Wolfenbarger's on the show. Hey, my friend. Good to have you on the show from down in Florida. Say my name. Pick me. Pick me. I'd happy to. Carla, I'll pick you. Carla says, say her name. Miss Carla is a... Miss Carla, I will tell you, there is a place in Asheville to eat. And there's a place now in Charlotte to eat called the White Duck Taco. And if you ever get an opportunity to go to the White Duck Taco, you should go. It's not just your normal little, let's fill up the family cheap taco. I mean, we're talking steak and cheese that'll rock your socks. We're talking, I was talking about this yesterday as I painted a rooster and a lobster in a taco. It's just brilliant. It's street corn. It is unbelievable. So no skimping. Denise, thanks for liking the grit. I know it's supposed to say grit, but it doesn't. It's okay. Donna Buckley, I don't pronounce things anyway. Cheryl Hoffman, Debbie Bennett. Well, thank you guys for being on the show. A lot of people piling on this morning. Valerie, thank you for being on the show. Gracie, Trish Brown, I think I said hi to you. Kathy from Northern California. Brody. Hey, here we go. Oh, my initials. Well, I did put DA in there, and I couldn't really sign your name. That wouldn't work, so I just put you out there, but you're there. So kind of fun. I see all you guys were giving me great ideas. I had 6 or 8, and I might do that again. It was just so kind of fun, you know. Could be just unemployed. I'm not sure what that means, but I like it. All right, here we go. Wow, tacos and ducks. Yes, Miss Carla, there it is. All right, so let's paint something this morning. Let's paint something small because I got all this paper. And I do think I'm going to do an auction, and I may do it. What am I doing? Let's see. What do I have Friday? I might do it Friday night. I might do a Friday night auction. Here's why. It's time for me to unload some paintings that I have here. I have paintings. I have a whole stack over there. I've got some. I got a little bit of everything, and it's almost Christmas time. And so the fun part about being Christmas is it's time to do inexpensive originals that you can gift to friends and give out and say, hey. And I think it's time for this to go. It's really full. And so it's time for these lobsters to take a trip. The main trip is over. And I think I'm going to auction this baby off. I don't know. My wife is Miss Carol Ann, the bon vivant, is saying I might keep that one. But I got some great lobsters in here that need to find a home, and so there's one crawling on the page. This is one of my favorites right here, pen and ink. Keep it simple, people. Keep it simple. Okay, so I think what we'll do is these are on 140-pound watercolor paper, and they're just in this journal. So you got a little razor slice right here, and they come out and they frame really well. Even these others, put them in a shadow frame. I think this may be 138 pound, and I like this one. All the circles coming in. Some are small, some are black and white, some are pen and ink. Here's one in pencil. Some of these I won't sell, but this one's tea. So I just put a tea bag in the cup sometimes and pour in about a half ounce of water and just let it steep in there, and then I'll paint with that. I get this great little yellow paint. I need that color this morning for my bees. Here's one crawling off the page. Here's one crawling on the page, and that's those. And then I also have these tiny ones. Look at this. So there's a ton of them. So maybe we can group some of these together. As a crab showed up there, and yeah, there's a few lobsters in here. Oh, I hadn't finished this book yet, so I will. All right, scrap paper. Let's do some fun stuff here this morning. Here's let me grab this. This is probably 118, 138 maybe. I think that maybe this is 140 here. All right, let's just do something fun on this. Let me chop this paper. What did I do with all that scrap paper I had? I had a whole pile of it laying out here somewhere. Oh, there's another lobster. Hey, you guys, what are you doing here? Here's some paper right here. All right, so let's just go through put on some music and paint something quick. This will be a good experiment for you today if you're wondering, what am I going to paint today? What am I going to approach? What am I going to make? What am I going to put together? Let me get my colors over here. Let me get my pens over here. This is kind of just going to be a pen and ink mostly. Add a few colors. Put some music on. Let's do something really kind of funky. I don't know what's here. Let's try this. I don't even know what this song is. I don't hear anything, huh? All right. I can hear that. Randall Taylor Craven says she likes the pencil one and the T one. Okay, so tune in. I think let's do it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to check my schedule. Watch for my Facebook page. Here, I'm going to check it right now. Ready? Use cancel. Let's go here. Let's see what the calendar is. Oh, it's not going to want to do that, is it? Oh, wait a minute. Can't do that Friday night. Nope. That's not going to work. Okay. So we'll put it off. Okay. Can't do Friday night because I am out on an event. There's an organization here that I've done a video for before for autism, and I'm on an event. So we're going to that event. Some friends of ours are hosting it, and so we're going to go be a part of that. All right. Serious thing with children, with even adults who have it, but it's really serious. So it's fun. I love their logo too. It's a puzzle piece. All right, so I'll put it off and I'll get it all together. We'll do it the following week. Even if I'll do it the week after I come back from the mountains of the Barnwood. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Turn this music down a little bit. Need to try some tea and coffee paint. Have some wood I picked up on the trail at work that has a deep red coloring in it, maybe buckthorn. Woo! Just want to see what I can get from it. Yeah, hot water is the catalyst. By the way, think about this, folks. People made paint from flowers and, and dyes and fruits and vegetables. Yes, you can do that. You got to be careful because sometimes it will go rancid on you. So you're going to have to treat it with some gum and with some oils and other things. But for tea and water, no, it's going to be fun for you to splash it around. So if you're painting with teas and coffees, it's pretty safe. And so it's very safe, actually. Don't paint out of what you drink out of, just mix up some more. But hot water is the catalyst. So boil some water, and not too much water. You want to just drip it in there and then give it time to marinate. Give it time to just steep up. And don't expect anything outrageously strong. Just expect something kind of fun as it comes along, and see what it happens. All right, so it's about the time for all my little friends to start loading up their covered station wagons and pulling them into hibernation for the winter. You know, I'm talking about the honeybees. So I've had honeybees on my mind. I think what reminded me is maybe going through one of those books and I saw some early bee skeeps. You know, the twisted ones out of straw and so I thought it might be fun to just do a couple little honeybees just really quick with just two colors, this and some yellow. This is a Kakuno pen. See if I can come in on this piece of paper just a little bit for you here. Get a little closer today. Let me focus right there. Can we do that? Let's see. Can we focus right? Move my camera over and focus right there. All right, there we go. So this will trim off the bottom. Don't worry about little fluff and rough and just dangled fangled stuff. Nobody cares about that stuff. Just put it in a little paper. Chop it off. There we go. Okay. So if that bothered you, in fact, if that piece of paper is too big, we'll cut it again. There you go. All right. I can't use scissors. I can use a hammer and blacksmith, but I can't really do scissors. So that's a pretty big picture here. So, all right, here we go. Look, Laura says, wait, you see my freehand mailbox. Included a little bee in the mix. I love it. And Kathy says, I pounded tape flowers between tea towels and pigment from the flowers comes off. Not really bright, but it's cool. Yeah, don't look for it to be like the pigments that's commercially used today with waxes and oils and all that kind of stuff. Look for natural ones, you know, from flowers and things. Just make sure you don't get foxglove, okay? Then put it in your mouth. So here's this. I'm just going to use a pen. I haven't done I don't even have a honeybee to look at, do I? Rats. No, I have rats, but I don't have honeybees to look at. Maybe there's an old bee. Here's an old bee. Right? Is there a bee there? Let's see. Let's do this right here. Let's just draw the head kind of like a pear shape. There it is right there. See that little head? Kind of like a pear shape. And then just do some squiggles in here like this. I'm going to put an eye right here like so. And then just keep a little white spot for pupil in there. Maybe put some antennas out there like that. A little more, just doodling here with the pen, coming down like this. A little backbone, a little taller. Come in. Some squiggles in here like this, maybe another band, maybe another little squiggle, and then a little tail. So there's a little bee body. You little bee body, you? Okay, then we'll put a little leg out here. And remember, everything that I draw from shrimp to lobsters to everything has these segmented legs. Look at crustaceans. Look at insects. They all have these weird looking little legs that are different from ours. Most time they're backwards from ours. You know what I'm talking about? Our shoulders come down like this, and it's cone shaped. Okay, that's the way our shoulders come down. You know, we have a little bicep muscle, hopefully, and you know the guy's sleeves rolled up here, and here's, of course, he's the blacksmith. And there's the hammer, and then, you know, he's got on his apron. It cuts across here like this, and then his other hand's coming down. And so you see how his shoulders are cone shaped, thick at the top, thinner at the bottom, like so. Okay, insects sometimes they're like this. Sometimes, depending on the insect, they're just the opposite. They start with a little smaller hinge, and then they sort of open up, and then they do that repeat. You see that? That looks like an insect leg. See, that's just the opposite of a human leg. So when we go to draw a bee and we put human legs on it, it looks kind of funky. But when we go to draw a bee like this and we put this sort of leg on it, it looks right. Okay? So that's all I'll say about that. All All right, I know I'm a crazy person, but it's fun. Okay, so this one goes up in here, then it comes down a little thicker, then it comes down again. It's got some, maybe it's got a little of the last season's pollen on it. Maybe he's taking in some sugar. Look, if you're not taking care of the bees, dadgum you, take care of the bees, okay? And look, I didn't draw his wings. I didn't go in here like this and go, okay, I got to draw the wing of the bee, and then I got to put in all the little flubas and all the little breaks, and I didn't do that. You can do that if you want. Man, if you got time and you want the detail to do that, knock yourself out. I'm just doing mine like with a couple little, where they're hinged in right here. Now, so this is Kakuno pen. It has Kakuno ink in it, okay? So it's just black ink. You know what happens when you put water to black ink that hasn't dried. This is a number 3 American Journey round brush. It's nylon. It's not any magical hair. It's not sable. It's not the best stuff in the whole world. I shouldn't have drawn on that. So now I don't want it to be too busy. I'm going to cover that up a little bit. All right, so here we go. All right, so now I'm just going to take a little clean water. I need a paper towel here to work with. A little clean water. And I'm just trying to wet my brush, make sure it's clean, but I don't want all that water. I want to just barely touch it one time. And then I'm going to go in, and I'm just going to start right here in the middle, and I'm going to see how that ink is. Oh, that's pretty good. Look, so now I'm just dancing my brush. That's my word for it. Just let your brush dance. Just let it brush right in like that. And then I'm just using this to just box in those little places here in the legs. See? See that? Oh, that's so cool. All right. And as it gets lighter, and and here's where I really could use the tea, but I want to come in here with a little bit of gamboge, and I'm going to drop it over here in this tin. So this paint hadn't been wet yet, so I'm just waking up with a little water here. Put it over here, then I'm going to go get a little bit of this orange and drop it in there like so. I'm getting the bee color here. I think that's kind of, maybe it just needs a touch of this reddish brown too. Oh, look at that. That's good bee color right there, okay? See that right there? Oh, you can't see it from my big old fat head, can you? Okay, so this is pretty good bee color right here. All right, so now I've got this over here like this. And I'm just gonna come in here, maybe with a little more yellow there. So I'll come in right here behind his head. A little yellow there. Some of this color I pre-mixed right here. Come back in there, wipe some of that out. See, I didn't like how my yellow hit with all that black. And now I have this little bee that I really like. And I'm going to add a little bit of this orange around his head right here. And then I'm going to probably go in and just get a little darker black here. I wanted, because I wiped that up with a paper towel. And then, so there's my first bee. So how are you going to do his wings? Well, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to either get some French gray up here in my palette, some French gray, or I'm going to go down here and I'm going to get some buff titanium. And I think that's the color I'm going to use, just a little buff there. And watch this. I'm going to take just some water first, and I'm just going to go swish, swish, like that. And I'm going to grab a little bit of that buff and just let it slide up in there like that. And there's my bee. He's done. I'm going to put him in the sky. He needs to be in the sky. Or I have a pencil on the desk. There's one right there with lobsters on it. Maybe just give him a little bit of a blue sky splatter here. Maybe just a little bit of some honeycomb splatter down in here on his feet and up there. And then I have this bee. I'm slinging my brush sideways a little bit, and I got this bee ready to go. Ah! And my brush rolls right through him. That's okay. I'll take it. So there's a good honeybee. Really, and I cheated a little bit. So on this one, let's don't cheat. Remember, this is painted on maybe 118. So let's go for a piece of watercolor paper. Here, this is stiffer paper. This is 138. And this is all just scrap paper laying on my desk. And let's change pens. I used Kakuno. This time I'm going to use the Preppy pen, the O2 Preppy pen. All right, same thing. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to go and I'm just going to grab this. Let's see if it's writing. Yes, okay. Here we go. I'm going to draw him going the same way just because I'm locked in this morning. Is that okay? If it's not okay, it is now because I'm doing it. All right, so here we go. So I'm just going to draw that pear-shaped head. There it is right there. A little bit of a pear shape. I'm going to go right here on the side of his head, and I'm going to put in that eye. There it is right there. Leave a little bit for a pupil. Okay, maybe a little bit of eye, so he's looking at us a tad bit. There's his antennae. They come out on the side. Yeah, he's kind of facing us a little bit, so he's got a little more of a bend in his body, so he's got maybe just a little bit because he's turned this way. There's those legs again coming out like that. See, they're just a little bit backwards. Here's one coming out on the backside, and here are those wings coming out like this. And here's one coming up like this. There they are. Maybe there's a little doubler up on this one, like so, like they're moving. And then I'm going to go in here and just do a little bit of squiggle. And then a little bit more dark on this fanny right there. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to grab that number 3 brush again, and I'm going to go in, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start here. Whoa, that pen is dark. It's darker than the ink in this one. So the Preppy ink, this, what is this? This is carbon ink. This carbon ink in this Preppy pen. This is called a Preppy, Preppy. And I've got to buy a new number 2 because I dropped it in Maine, right on its nose. I was just going like, yeah, let's look over there. And so I took my Leatherman, because I carry Leatherman in my bag, and I straightened it out a little bit, but it's not doing too well. This one's about empty too. I can see it. But the word is Preppy, Preppy. It says platinum, and this is platinum carbon ink. I have an 02 and an 03, but all the journal that I did in Maine was done with this pen. Every bit of it, okay, except for that one little time I grabbed a pencil and did some cool pencil lobstering because I didn't know really what I was drawing. I'd done 100 of them, before I got there. All right, so music sounds like something from outer space here, so I'm not sure what I'm doing. All right, let's let this just kind of come back a little bit. I do want a little bit of beige or brown in there. I'm going to go get some, what's the brown that I use? Maybe it's not really brown. It's more of a, all right, some of that. That's probably too much, and I'm going to take my paper towel and just hit it like that. And so there's another bee. So he's done, okay? I don't like his eye. He looks a little bit like a Halloween pumpkin, which I'm not a fan of. But let's see, I put it in there like that, and then I get it. And I can also drop a little orange in there, just a little orange, and just put a little more orange around here like this. Okay, so there's 2 Bs. 2B or not 2B. Let's do one more going the other way. I bet I can. Okay, so here we go. Let's do them on different paper. Come on, mix it up a little bit. What's this? Ooh. Wow, I don't know what this is. This is 140-pound handmade paper. All right. So here we go. Head may be a little round for the bee here. Just put it right in there like that. It's okay. I'll come back in. A little shoulder here. He's kind of big there. He's got a break in his body here. It's kind of coming down. And then, of course, his fanny's right there. We're going to do a little leg coming out like this, coming out past him. And then this one's hinged a little differently. It comes down, and then it comes down again, and it goes back, and he's got one here coming back. He also has another one that's coming out this way. And there he goes. And then his wings are coming back off the shoulder. You can really see the wing coming back off this one. And so there's another little bee. He's a big old hog. Okay, so it gives you an idea of how you can just take scrap paper and just start having fun. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and drop the yellow orange in first, like so. Okay, drop some around his head, like so. And then I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to let the pen. Let's see what I got blackwise. Can I grab some pen in here? Just take this pen and come in and just do a little band right there. Just let it be rough here too, and then do his tail, his little stinger. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. The more I paint, the better I get. Who would have thought that would have ever happened? Okay. I think that's sort of like playing the piano, isn't it? One of the things in my life that I'll never get to do is play the piano at Carnegie. And that's because I don't play the piano. But if I played the piano, I'd have a chance. So who knows? Some of these roosters, or some of these honeybees might show up in the Flight of the Bumblebee, played at the Carnegie, or at the Guggenheim. No, the Carnegie. Guggenheim's a museum. I thought carbon ink didn't run. Carbon ink will you need to let it dry before you paint on it, but I paint on it before it dries. Okay, so let's just put that to the test and see if I'm right. Okay, so here's carbon ink. This is carbon. That's a good thing. Okay, so we're going to put it right here like this. Okay, all right. So there's two things of carbon ink. This is the Preppy O2 pen with platinum ink. All right. So theoretically, if I take this right now and I just drop a little water in there, it's going to bleed. But if I wait a few minutes, let's put that over there and let this dry, and we'll see what we get. Okay, so let me open this back up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing now. All right. Sally Ann Smith says she loves rough watercolor. Yeah, there's some great companies out there that make some great rough watercolor. I both love it and I don't. It depends from my style. Sometimes it'll get a little muddy for flowers. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because right now my daughter is painting mostly on what I call hot press paper, slicker. This has a real hot press feel to it right here, almost like marker paper. It's almost like just you expect the ink to just take off like crazy. And so I'm going to leave this over here. Here's what I did with the carbon ink. While it was still wet, I did a little wash with that number 3 brush, and I'm letting this just dry a little more, and we'll just test it. But most of the time when I'm sketching something and I'm really in a hurry, I will just go ahead and wash right over it and let it bleed, because I love that look. That's still the look that I'm drawn to. No pun intended there. I'm drawn to it. Okay. So for me to come in here and create this cross hatching like this, and then drop that pen out and pick up this Preppy pen here. This pen's running out of ink, by the way. It's time to do a little maintenance. Okay, and then let's come in with a little bigger brush here, just for fun. Let's see. Okay, so this is just with the ink, and so now this was the Kakuno. This one's the carbon. So see, it's already drying on the hot pressed paper much faster, and there's not a whole lot of wash. But look, this one's still alive and well down here. So let's see what happens. Okay. All right, so this one is pretty much done. Look at this one now. Almost no bleed. See that? So John Robert Small, you're right. I just work a little faster than the pen dries. You're seeing very, very little wash out of this. So if you want to wait 5 minutes, and most people do that when they're out sketching, to use a pen like that, it's why when you saw the old guys of old blow on theirs or use the salt to drain it out or whatever they did, the powders, they blotted it so it wouldn't run too much. That's why fountain pens get people in trouble. They forget that that's still loose and hasn't dried yet. Different papers dried at different times. And so in this case, I just gave this a matter of almost 4 minutes, maybe a little less, and it's pretty well dry. And then from then on, so one more time with that, look at this little block right here and this little block right here. This is a number 3 carbon ink, same ink as the number 2. Give this one a rundown like this. Look, just dropping it in there. Wet brush, boom, boom, boom. And that's the way I like to use it in most cases. These bees would look different they would look different if I took them and sketched them like so. And then I just sketch this one this way. I think you can see what I'm doing there. This is kind of stuff that you need to play with in your art desk sometimes when you're just messing around. Go there just to experiment, you know? And you're creating this look that you didn't think you were going to be able to get any other way. So I'll come in here with this one, and I'll just use this brush and a little bit of water, and I'll come in and I'll put the black in there, and I'll drop some yellow in there like so. And a little bit of this wing stuff. And now I'm going to let this one dry for a little bit, okay? So that'll give you an idea of just different things, okay? It was kind of a mystery. It looked like a cold press handmade paper. Yes, it was. Not cold pressed. Well, it was cold pressed. It was picked out and then rolled over. So I had a whole series of that. What paper did you use for the last bee? Let's see. The last bee was this was a series of hand pressed paper that I ordered from a company. Let me see. I'm going to leave my desk for a second. Don't go away. It's not. I thought it was Khadi papers, but it's not. I do have a series of Khadi papers here, and they're called A5 Khadi, Khadi, and these are all handmade papers from South India. It's fair market traded, and it's all handmade. And so there you go, a pack of Khadi paper right here. It's all 100% recycled. It's acid free. It's handmade, and a hammer mill. And Ricky sent me some paper from the mill in, oh my gosh, was it Amsterdam? Am I just making that up? No, I think it was Amsterdam, and it's unbelievable. And some of it is hard to paint on. You got to really work to paint on it. But this is handmade. This is what would be called a rough. And it would be handmade here, but it's not handmade like this. This is a cold. This is really a cool pressed paper. And I don't know that I think I've painted on one piece of it. Let's see if I can do something different on it right here. It even sketches funky. It's pretty wild. And I like using this pen on it, but it's a lot of people don't use fountain pens to sketch with. Not in watercolor. They use them for journals and they use them for all sorts of things, but you don't see them use them in watercolor too much. And that's why, you know what? Because I just like to be different. I just like to go, yeah, I did that with a fountain pen. Well, isn't that harder? And you go, sometimes. Not necessarily harder. I got to remember to come back to this one I'm working on. I'm waiting until this dries some. I did this one wet so you can see it bleed a little bit. I'm back to my block here. You think I'm forgetting to do all this stuff, but I'm keeping up, by golly. Look at this. I'm going to come in here and just go. Now look. Oh, I had a yellow pen. I'm sorry, or yellow paint in that brush. So now look. See that? So there you go, John Robert Small. There it is. Give it a chance to dry, and you'll be in great shape, okay? So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back in with this pen. Or where's my, do I have a Lamy up here? Let me come in with this Lamy. Look at this right here. I'm just going to come in here and do some cross-hatching with the Lamy. And up here in the dark feathers too. Just kind of come in, let those kind of go off like this. So much of your time, folks, has to be spent just experimenting. And then I don't do good at keeping records because, I don't care, but I'll remember what pen I used and I'll go back and I'll like the effect and I'll do it again. And that's one of the reasons that I do several repeats, okay? So I do this bee and this bee and this bee. I'm getting ready to work on again. And this bee, there's another bee somewhere that I did. I did a 3 bee piece, maybe. Was it on the back of this? Oh, here it is. This is a lobster painting that I was working on last night with just muted colors. Look, it's with my pen. You're in hot water now. There it is. And then here's the bees right here. Here's 3 bees sitting, getting on home. So there's 3 bees with just the pen and a touch of black ink. And that's it. And then here's a little bit of green over here, and you can see they're flying home. You know what? You got to just get out there and experiment a little bit. Here's a finer pen that I'm going to come in and just do some. This is Kakuno, but it's ultra fine. Okay, so let's see what this does. And let's use one more pen. Let's use that Preppy 03. Here it is right here. Let's do this tail feather with this. Let's carve these around this way. And then maybe let some go down this way. And then just put some spots in there like so. Okay, and then let's grab a brush. Let's grab something that's got some water in it. Here's a number 7 American Journey brush. And let's start up here and take a look. Okay? So what we know about the Lamy pen is with its black ink is that it's always going to run dark. It is just going to stay that way. Here's the ultra fine. Take a look. That's what you get. See, it actually seeped in there just in that time period and dry. This is the Lamy, and this is the 03. And I've let it dry for a little bit. So see, I'm going to get almost nothing. I'm going to leave those lines. And that's the carbon right there. See the difference? Okay, so why do I have different fountain pens? Because they have different inks, and the different inks dry at different times on the paper. And then I'll take some of this and put it right in here. Take some of this and put it right in here. And some of this one, drop it up here. This is this khadi paper. Remember what it is? It's khadi paper. It's handmade paper. It's from India. One day I just got online and somebody said, hey, I'm painting this on khadi paper. And I went, okay, I'm going to get a piece of that. And maybe one of you sent me a piece. I'm sorry about my not remembered. I don't take notes on the shows. I just do what comes to mind and reflects in the morning. And so there it is. But that's a great looking little rooster right there, pen and ink. Okay, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Could I put a little color in that? Yes. Do I want to? Not sure yet. But I do want to come in with a little detail. So I'm just going to come in here and take my pen and just give him some toenails. And folks go, you know, you can only see 2 toes there. And I go, well, I don't want to put one more, but it's over there. You just can't see it. It's behind him. And put a little spur in there. That's a little detail. And then maybe come in here and just let this pen just kind of go down like that. Maybe there's another piece here. See what's happened here? This water on this paper, because of the facets in this hammer paper, the water is just seeping in. And so it's really kind of cool what's happening. It's taking its own flavor. I like it. I like it a lot. Turns out to be a good little roux. Man, how fun is that? Okay. Teaching 14-year-old a watercolor. I give her a bare bones set for Christmas. I will share my paints with her, but what 2 or 3 sizes of brushes is best and what paper? Got to keep it under $25. Okay. Under $25. Go on, just get a good nylon. You know what? These brushes, if you're just going to give her 2 brushes, give her a number 3 and a number 6. Number 3 and a number 6. And I do interlocked. I just do interlocked nylon. I do nylon watercolor brushes. I wouldn't buy those from, you could probably get those from Michaels, then buy a brand name if you're going to buy them from Michaels. Don't buy Michaels brands. But I'd go to an art store and do that. And then for paper, I would just go get some, honestly, here I would go to Michaels and I'd just buy, for her to start, I'd buy some, here I probably have a piece laying up here that I took with me the other day for these kids to scrap on. I'd just buy some Strathmore watercolor paper like this. Yep. 140 pound, something like that right there. Um, this is there's a little painting I was working on. Can you see that? People are going like, "What the heck is that?" Oh, you're looking at it up wrong. It's like this. It's the coast of Maine. See it right here? There's the ocean coming in, and the sky's up here. This is the ocean. You see how to do you for a curve. I could have started like this and go, it's a lunar landing site. No, it's this. But hey, this paper is pretty good paper. I can get rid of that. Didn't want it anyway. But it's not great paper, but it's a good paper to start on. And two brushes. Give her a good pen too. You can do that. All right. Okay. Hey, listen, it's almost time for me to go. It's 9:57. I like this rooster very much, and right now he's staying on this Khadi paper, Khadi. It's all the way from India. It's 20 sheets. It's called 320 GSM, which means it's 140 pound. And I think I probably just ordered that through Joe Miller, Cheap Joe's. I think Cheap Joe's can get it for me. Anyway, you can get it. It's handmade. It's got a deckled edge. It's great if you're doing hand journals and you want some fun things to draw in there. By the way, it'll warp like crazy because of all the water that this paper absorbs. It's rolled very gently, so it's not going to be pressed out and smooth. This is not the kind of paper that you want your grandkids to start on. This is one of the paper that you want to work with later after you've got a handle on your water and on your color a little bit. All right. So today, find something brand new to paint, or not brand new, but maybe just it's time to, before they all sail off into their hive for this winter season. It's below 55 here this morning. So all the bees have gone in and they're putting on their little woolly bee long johns. And they're making sure you have sugar to feed them. And so, and I was going to paint this one. See? I'm going to do it in the next 2 minutes. Here we go. Get my number 3 brush. Remember, this is the ink one that I let just dry out a little bit. So look, if I come in here now, bingo, it's not doing really anything at all. See that? So now I can just, so that's the advantage of that carbon ink. When I'm working with my journal, by the way, I would go ahead and put that on there and then I'd paint right away. And so, but when I work it wet, I've got to come in now. I've got to use some black paint to get in there and give me my streaks that I want in the bee. There's a little bit right there and there, and actually it turned out really well. I like it. Okay, so I just am an impatient painter. My wife says I'm impatient about a lot of things, but so there we go. And then let's see, what else did he need? He needs a little touch of orange right in here. Let me see if I can get some of this little orange and kind of just bump it in on his head a little bit there. That's a cool little bee. All right. So let that pen dry a little bit and you're back in business. I just like to take mine a little rough. Why? Because it's part of my style. It makes them look a little loose. Find something today. Maybe it's a flower. Maybe it's a dog. Maybe it's a teacup. Maybe it's who knows what. 2 minutes and there's time to create. Pat, that's the way it works here. Isn't that crazy? Okay. 2 minutes, man, that's a long time. Do you realize how much information can be put out in 1 minute car commercial? Well, and you think, I don't have time to be creative. Yes, you do. You have time to doodle something and pass it off to a grandchild. You have time to doodle something and pass it off to someone else. Right now, take a sip from your cuppa and think of who you're going to send a little note to today. Denise, send me an email. I'm going to send you a Grit magazine. I will do my best to go to my YouTube channel and put that journal out there for you to see. There's a version of that Joe Miller. It's on Cheap Joe Facebook page. It's Yasutoma is publishing it, I think, too, for the journal because I use their brush and I use Joe Miller paints. So it's kind of been fun for say, hey, look, I took you guys with me to Maine. Thanks. I'm seriously considering a journal painting trip to Maine. I hope in 2022, one of my trips is going to be to Israel. I want to fill out another journal there, but I'm probably going to go back to Maine and paint. Have a blessed day, and carry it on, okay? If you've got art you need to do, carry it on. There it is right there. That's one of my favorite paintings. I never sold this. I keep it on my wall. Art, carry it on, okay? And yes, Pat's got it right. It's I'm out of here like a herd of turtles. Thanks for liking the show. Thanks for sharing it. Thanks for all the comments. I'll go back through and ask some questions. I had my head down most of the day, just trying to paint as many bees as I could in a nutshell. And go for it. Send somebody a text today. Send them a note. Say, hey, I'm thinking of you. Send them a cup of soup in the mail. That's a bad idea. Carry it on. Carry it on. That make a good little logo. All right, here we go. I'll have tea with you in Israel, Ricky says. Okay, that sounds good. Woo-hoo-hoo. In the market. Ooh, better be some tea, all right. See you Wednesday if you're on the class. See you Saturday if you're not, probably Saturday. And I'm going to do an auction coming up soon. I'll try to get the journal out. Watch the Facebook page, and I'll send you a link for that. Thanks for sharing my journal. Blessings to you.